back here working on the Bronco. I need to take a break on that piece of junk. We're still fighting the roof on it, but wanted to get this thing. Basically, the goal is to buzz down into the factory or the aftermarket floor pans we put in, and then we epoxied all that. I'm just putting a little bit of filler and seam sealer, kind of plugging up some of the places where they would have put a lot of seam sealer from the factory where there were holes in. A lot of times we kind of double side that. And then you'll have places kind of like this that has a hole. You can see there's some factory seam sealer there. I want to kind of knock this out and then kind of just knock some of this out. This isn't rust. This is like their old brown epoxy. Thing had been sandblasted, so I'm just coming back through here, touching up anywhere that I've had some weld marks. I'm going to pull these out. These are the marker lights. Basically back tape like those holes, and then the filler hole down there. Kind of knock some of that loose stuff, that old bed liner out, and get that tape out of there. Kind of just do a once over on the bottom of this thing. I do need to weld this in here. This thing goes on the inside of here. I forgot to weld that in. That's for the e-brake, the stomp cable. And I think the plan is to basically come across here and then here and bedline this, bedline the inside of their wheel wells, and then this here, and then like kind of all down through here, and we're going to blast as much in here as we can, and then probably bedline to here, the back side of this, and then all this here, inside here, bedline this here, but this will all get painted. The face of this will get painted the body color, which is a boxwood green. So the plan is to do a boxwood green. We finally got the okay on the color. I called and got a quote on paint, so hopefully he'll send some money for that. I don't want to spend the $4,000 out of my pocket on this thing right now. So waiting on that, but we still have some body work to do. And then I got the bedliner kit for the bottom of this. We're going to use our Raptor bedline kit on the bottom of this thing. We're just going to do black on the bottom, and someone get a hold of Phil and make sure someone wants to do the bottom of the wheel wells black. But I just think when you look in there, like say this was boxwood green, right? And then you kind of look in here, you can see that inner fender well. I just think it looked better black because inside the back wheels will be black. But this is what we're using here in one of these Raptor kits.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
We got most of this thing scuffed down. All our welds kind of ground down, cleaned up, seam sealed underneath, seam sealed both sides. This seam here had factory, and then this here had some factory seam sealer. We ended up replacing this. I was in such a hurry to get it sandblasted, I forgot to knock these down. So what I did, I'll spray a little epoxy on those and probably hit my seam sealer. So the next step would be to get this thing taped, back taped for bedliner. At least get some epoxy on it for the day. It's about noon already, so we'll try to get a bedline tonight, but not sure we'll make it. If not, we'll do it tomorrow, but we should go get it epoxied. Sorry about that fan. I'm gonna let that thing run for a little bit longer. Got this all sprayed, stinks. I'm just gonna let a lot of that air get out of here. So two things, the lady in the office in the morning, and then me when I come in the morning. It's not gonna stink too bad if I let this thing run for a few minutes. But anyway, now that's 5. I ended up using one of mine. 5 quarts is what it took to spray the bottom of this. Now we didn't do super thick. The Raptor just doesn't like, you just don't put it on real thick, you know, like an actual bed liner. They're using a tip about that big around and a 55-gallon drum. But what we want to do is just take a lot of that tinniness out, and it does give a little bit of a heat shield, and then it just kind of makes it look really nice. Like you look up underneath there with a nice shiny or satin frame with like some nice parts, and you know, you got nice axles and nice springs and nuts and bolts. It just makes everything look really super nice and clean while giving you a little bit of that sound deadener and some heat protection. But we ended up rolling around, getting all that sprayed all this. I went ahead and hit this with like 4 coats. Basically in here where the tire is going to be throwing stuff, and the same in here. I hit it, try to get it pretty hard in there. Let me get over here, that fan's not so loud. That way, when rocks get caught in the tire, hopefully they don't put it in there, you know, an Audi or a dent coming up from the bottom, because that would definitely be a bummer. On the, especially on the inner fender well, you'd see, I don't think on the back well you'd really see it, because I think it's getting the carpet kit. But anyway, and then we're also going to put bed liner on the back side of that, so just a little extra protection. And then, like I say, that was 5 quarts, and it's about 5:30. I'm gonna let this thing air out, and then I'm getting the heck out of here. I will see you guys tomorrow.